your eccentricity is the curse of being human, but you don't need to run away from it. You just need to understand it, embrace it, so that you can be in control of it rather than it running you. But the reason this is important to your business, your message, and your content is because you and everyone else is getting on social media with the best of intentions. You want to give. But the problem is that often what we're trying to give is not the same as what our audience wants to receive. And so then we end up disconnecting rather than connecting through our content. Neuroscience tells us that you are actually stuck in your eccentricity. Now, your eccentricity, by the way, is the curse you are basically born with and continue to develop over the course of your life. That being, you are taught from the minute you are born that the world revolves around you. I cry, I get attention. I scream, I get attention. You are taught, you're getting cues consciously, subconsciously, from the minute you're born that the world actually revolves around you. And then what's the funny thing? You get to school age and you start to develop a bit of sass and a bit of your own identity. And then your parents say to you, the world doesn't revolve around you. But they told you that it did. So now we're really confused. And neuroscience tells us that you actually get stuck in your eccentric way because you perceive subconsciously that there's more benefit to doing so. Because when we feel that we are right, even though that is our perception, you're leading and you're having attention, and your brain, when that happens, your brain actually produces a high level of dopamine, which is a reward transmitter. And that then reinforces you to repeat the pattern. So your eccentric pattern subconsciously makes you feel powerful and drives you to crave more of it. And you don't even realize that this is an autonomic response. Now, the problem is this power over pattern ends up pushing you away from others, that being in this context, your audience, because they actually find your addiction to the dopamine, the eccentricity, egotistical and arrogant. Now, this is all going on subconsciously. People aren't getting on social media and going, oh, geez, Steph, you're arrogant. But they're interpreting your content. And how do you know if this is happening? Low engagement, or you've got good engagement, low conversion. Low conversion to clients. So you have a chemical addiction to being eccentric and you're never getting rid of it. Who's depressed now? No need to be depressed. Awareness is the first step. Now we get to control it, right? So what do? Well, Harry Overstreet, in his book, Influencing Human Behavior, now, he obviously wrote this. He's back in the Dale Carnegie era, pardon me. So he wasn't writing this for social media, but I'm sharing it in the context of social media. So in his book, he shares that you have respect for your audience as you speak, or in this case, as you share your content. But often you are so focused on wanting to make a good impression. So you try to show your audience all that you know. But here's what's really interesting, speaking of depression. What happens is, as you feel that your display of knowledge is flourishing, whether that is on social media, on an email, on a sales call, or even in a coaching call, as you feel that your display of knowledge is flourishing, your audience inadvertently feels depressed. Because when a speaker tells his audience, he or she is implying that they know and that their audience doesn't, which induces a feeling of inferiority within them. Maybe you're feeling that right now as I speak. So if you are sitting here and thinking, that's really great information, but I know that I'm not eye-centric, I know that my message connects, that is your eye-centricity speaking to you. Some of the ways that it might be showing up on social media from a content perspective is you are looking and sounding generic and drowning out in your target audience's newsfeed, even though what you have to offer is highly unique. Because how often do you stop in your scroll on a daily basis and consume someone's entire piece of content? How many times? Anyone want to share? 2, 3, 5? Yeah, Oksana, 1 or 2? Yeah, about two times. That's what's going on for your audience as well. So now we start to realize how difficult it becomes to not just stop somebody, but then have them consume the entire thing that you're sharing and then take a motor action by hitting like or writing a comment.